let's be honest, Duolingo is low-key aggressive. You miss one day and it's like, oh, so you've given up, and let's not forget the basement jokes. But here's what I also realized. Duolingo doesn't motivate you by being nice. It motivates you by being consistent, annoying, and unforgiving. So I asked myself, what if we use the system that Duolingo uses to run a language learning app and we use it in our own lives? So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact bully tactics that Duolingo uses and how we could apply it to build discipline, consistency, and momentum. So let's get right into the video. It's the new year, it's 2026 at the time I'm recording this, and most of us are geared to write our New Year's resolutions, our goals for the year, get to the gym, read more books, get more money, all of that. But then what happens usually is that by Feb, if we're being optimistic, we've usually fallen off the wagon, right? And mostly we then start to think that it's our problem. But maybe you're not lazy. Maybe you just don't have a system that doesn't care about your feelings. So that's what we're going to be talking about here, seeing how Duolingo has done this. So if you haven't heard about this app, what is Duolingo? Duolingo is a popular free language learning platform app that is also available on its web version, and it's known for its fun, gamified approach that makes it easy to learn new languages. And now they have maths and even tests as well, and they do this through short interactive lessons that motivates users. So now that's the point of this video, is to figure out how exactly has Duolingo found a success, not just for learning but to create a community as it does, right? So how can we use Duolingo's gamification system in our real life? Number one, we'll use XPs, which track effort and not perfection. So XP is the experience points, right? And this is something that you get as you play Duolingo, right? They give you points for each thing that you do. And one thing to note is that Duolingo rewards effort and not fluency. So you might not be great at French, for example, in the first 5 lessons, but because you showed up, it gives you this XPs, even if you're bad at it. So how can we use this in our own lives, right? If you work out today, you get an XP. Whether you did the push-up correctly or not is not the main point. If you studied and you showed up to study, you get XPs for that. If I'm filming content today, I get my XPs even if the video is not flawless. But because I showed up, I am going to get XP. And this now gamifies our life experience essentially. So the question is not did I do it perfectly, but did I show up? And therefore progress becomes measurable and addictive, right? Point number 2 is using streaks and goals and making showing up the win, right? So the fact that you show up every day is Duolingo's biggest weapon, right? And I currently have about, let me just confirm, 394 days of using Duolingo, and this is after I left for a while but came back. That's a story for another day. And one thing I realized is I never committed to using Duolingo for 394 days. I downloaded the app, I was like, okay, I want to learn a language, but eventually I found myself not wanting to break the chain, right? The moment you get to 30 days, you're like, okay, I can do 40, I can do 50, and they even commit you to a goal. So how do we use this, right? We stop necessarily setting this huge goals for 365 days, but we set daily minimums, right? I show up to the gym today. I read my Bible today. I read 1 chapter today. And you have clear, strict rules. How many minutes do you have to show up for it to have counted, right? And we make sure that it's tiny wins. And this is another thing that Duolingo has, which is the strict freezes. So even if you miss one day, that's not the end of the road, right? We don't just throw it up and be, I'm done. But you allow yourself a strict freeze, and at least you ensure that you don't miss more than 2 days, and therefore we're able to protect our habit in the long haul. Point number 3, achievements and badges, which reward identity shifts. So if you know anything about Duolingo, you know the sound play when you get a lesson done, right? And there's all this confetti, even when Lily is a strange character, and there's all those characters, and they give you badges for consistency, for showing up, for milestones, for checking a lesson, and exploring new languages, right? And this allows you to get this boost of this dopamine, and it's just this little like joy. Okay, I completed this lesson, I played chess, I won against this bird app, right? And so how do we use this? We use this to create identity-based achievements, right? You show up for 7 days, you get a badge. You tried for 7 days, you get a badge. You showed up anyway when you didn't feel like it. There's a sense of accomplishment that you should feel from this. And it sounds silly, but recognition matters. Our brain needs the proof that we are becoming that person in a new year, especially. Like, we don't necessarily need to make it a grand thing, even if it's for 3 days consistently, 7 days consistently, 14 days. And as we build on this habit, it makes us proud of what we are doing.
Number 4, leaderboards. You complete small, not globally, right? So Duolingo doesn't put you into a global leaderboard with millions of people, right? It puts you into this small leagues where you actually have a chance of being number 1, right? You start with like bronze, silver, and then there's like obsidian and platinum, if I remember correctly. But then this allows you to be able to use those points, number 1, the XPs, right? And you begin to rank yourself with other people on the same level as you. So instead of comparing ourselves to everyone online, we compare this week to the previous week, right? We are able to then track our progress with a small group of people. So, for example, if you're in a running club, I know in Grahamstown, where there's a park run that happens every Saturday, and you're able to check yourself among the other runners in that area, within that race rather, and you're also able to track yourself consistently, and that allows you to not be freaked out about what everyone else is doing, but on a smaller level to see how you're competing against your own baseline. So this makes progress feel possible again, right?
All right, point number 5. Challenges and events avoid boredom. Now, Duolingo consistently runs like weekly challenges, they have monthly challenges, currently doing the January one, they have limited time events, and special quests, as well as this new weekend quest. But anyway, what this means is that you're always going to have an exciting event that is happening within Duolingo, right? And this is also part of the competitive nature of the app itself. So how do we do this? We start having live challenges. For example, 7 days, consistency challenge of showing up for 7 days straight. 14 days, 21. You can do a reading challenge. I know Goodreads has one as well. You can do a running challenge. You can do the 75 soft, 75 hard, whatever the challenge might be. However long it might be for, it doesn't matter, as long as you consistently have something that you are doing and you are getting excited to do. And even better when you pair it with the last step, because we know that challenges add urgency and they turn habits into mission. So the last one is point number 6, which is that friends build accountability without pressure. Now, this is one of the most underrated things about Duolingo. When I first started it, like about 6 years ago, I think, I didn't really care for the friends part of it, but last year, I remember a friend got really into Duolingo and they were learning it and they were speaking the language so fluently, and I wanted to join in again. And now you're able to do friends quests with them, and it keeps you on track because they're now nudging you to come back to the app to continue your streak, right? So we do the same thing in our lives. We share our goals with our friends, we do challenges with them as mentioned before, and we check in regularly to make sure that they're holding us accountable, and this ensures that we are not just doing these goals on our own, we're not doing it in isolation, but that people know about it and they're able to keep us grounded in it. And this makes sure that this person that we're trying to be essentially in the new year doesn't feel isolated from our community as well. So that is the 6 tips that I have for gamifying your life essentially, and making sure that you commit to your goals for the long run. Thank you for watching this video. Comment down below which area of your life you would possibly like to gamify, and try and see whether these tips will work out. I'll be using them myself to make 2026 the year of our life. But anyway, I will see you in the next video. There's some more video recommendations down below you can check out. Till next time, bye.